What's up, it's Jimfro, and I guess there's a bunch of things that people just don't know exist in New World. Me and a bunch of friends went through and wrote down a bunch of those like no way features, like, you know, when you figure something out and someone tells you something and you're like, holy shit, I didn't know that that existed. Well, this is that list. And starting off with number one is the repair all feature at the bottom of your character sheet. A lot of people actually go through and just like single-handedly right click and repair each item of their gear, I guess. I don't know why, but the repair all feature actually saves you a ton of time. And there's also like the repair all feature of your armor and your weapons that are also on the right side of your character sheet. So things that are in your inventory but not on your character, you can also repair quickly, especially if you're going to be putting things up on the auction house. Number two is the ability to sort your quest in the map viewer. So if you hit M to pull up your map, go up to the top left, hit objectives, and then now there's this list that allows you to sort by like distance. But what makes that really cool is that you're also allowed to sort by which territory you're in. And this definitely helps you sort through your quest way better, making it easier to find the thing that you're looking for. Number three is actually pretty sweet. It's the ability to transfer items from one territory to the other. If you're in Everfall or something and you want to transfer all your items to Cutlass Keys, you can actually put the items that you want onto the auction house. Then when you're in Cutlass Keys, take the item off of the auction house, and then it's now in your inventory and you didn't pay but a few little pennies. It's pretty sweet. Number four is probably my favorite feature in the game, which is kind of silly because it doesn't really impact the gameplay at all. But the fact that you do not die from fall damage. Like, I've jumped off as high of a cliff as I could possibly find, and I got taken down to 50% health, right? Then I go back up, I jumped off again, I got taken down to 25% health, and I did it again, got taken down to like 12% health or something like that. So I'm pretty sure that fall damage has a maximum value that it can do damage to you, and I think it's half of your health. So I didn't do it 100 times, but potentially you just literally can't die. So it makes it so that if you have to get from point A to point B, you don't have to go all the way around. You can just jump right off the cliff, which is awesome. And every game should be doing this. Fall damage is dumb. Nobody likes it. So number five is pretty sweet if you want to be sneaky. So proning actually hides your nameplate from enemies, right? So if you're PvP flagged, you can prone down and then either pop out on someone, surprising them and, you know, giving them the business before they can give you the business. Or what's even better is that if you see a group of 2 or 3 and you're by yourself, you can actually prone down, hide in a little bush, your nameplate is hidden, your character is hidden, and then they'll just stroll right on by you. And then you can just pop up and go on your merry way, questing without having to do any PvP. Pretty sweet. And number 6 is for the crafters out there who don't know that you can take some smaller refining mats or cheaper refining mats and then convert them into the more expensive refining mats, right? So if you're at the forge and you find that you're missing flux or something like that, you can go to the faction vendor, purchase this item called, pretty sure it's called the material converter. You take this item, you bring it back to the forge, then you can take some cheaper refining mats like solvents and then convert them. So you take 20 solvents and you can convert them into 15 flux, potentially making a bunch of money if you want to put those on the trading post, or you could just use them to craft your items so you don't have to constantly go back and forth from the trading post or go and try to find those mats out of chests and stuff, which can get super annoying. Number 7 is kind of shocking. There are some people that don't know that backstab exists. So every single weapon has the ability to crit, doing 30% more damage if you hit someone in the back. So try to take advantage of this. I use it with sword and shield. I shield bash someone, I go behind them, I switch to my axe, and then I execute right in the back, doing a boatload of damage. It's the best way to try to get a kill, and it also saves you a bunch of time if you're out farming mobs. Try to stun them, go behind them, do a little bit more damage, and it really does help. Number 8 isn't really game breaking, but the fact that you can hold an infinite amount of water and honey on your character without contributing at all to your weight is pretty damn awesome, right? You can do the same with like potions. You can have whatever the max amount of potions on you, doesn't contribute to your weight. Honey doesn't contribute to your weight. I use it because you're able to actually eat food and drink at the same time. I make sure that I always have like 1,000 on me. Then, you know, I'm always stocked up and I can always get a little bit of HP at all times. It's pretty sweet. And you can also try it with like a bunch of other items. Anything that's on your character basically just doesn't contribute to your weight. Number 9 is a little mathematical trick you can do to make sure that when you're death spawning, right? So a lot of people go out, they farm, they, get encumbered, making it so that they can't port or move or anything like that. So you then drown yourself or get killed by an enemy or something like that. That way you can spawn back at the zone. You don't have to walk that whole distance. But the trick is you want to make sure that you're spawning at the spot that you're intending to go to. So what you do is you open up your map, you right click to set a marker at the area you want to go to, and then you also right click the second closest area. And then you just compare those two distances, which actually saves a ton of time, and it also prevents you from respawning at the wrong area. Number 10 is something that I didn't know people didn't know about. You can unlock your camera while running, so you can have a free camera while auto running by hitting the Alt key or whatever key you keybind, which allows you to basically just hit Alt and you can look left, right, behind you, but you're still running full speed in the direction that you wanted to go. Super helpful. And here's a pretty sweet bonus, right? So if you go to the faction vendor, you can actually pick an item out that will allow you to change the stats on the gear that you get from the faction vendor. So if the stat has strength and constitution, you can then change the strength to intellect or focus or dexterity or whatever you want, which will in turn make it so that you have stats that are suited to the weapon that you're using, which is actually an awesome feature that I didn't know existed until I was like level 25 or 30 or something like that. So definitely go do this to make sure that your character stats are better than they were before you use the item. So yeah, those are all the features that we wrote down that kind of surprised us when someone figured something out that we didn't know. And now you guys all know that. If you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.